Well, good afternoon or morning or whatever it is in your part of the world. We are going to do a quick little video on the export from Vectorworks to ShowDesigner. I'm using Vectorworks 2017 and I'm using ShowDesigner Pro 6. First thing you want to make sure of is that you have updated both of those software programs. You have downloaded the full version of ShowDesigner and followed the instructions that are included with that download on how to add the ShowDesigner export plugin to Vectorworks 2017. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to open up Vectorworks 2017. Shouldn't take too terribly long. Once it's open, I'll make a couple little adjustments to my screen here. First things first, we're going to be using a file that I created for a show that I recently did, and you may or may not have seen the images. But if you haven't done so, please go over to my lighting designer Facebook page and like me. That's Kevin Friedel Designs, and really appreciate it. I'll add a link to it, but please do that. Any little bit helps. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and open up the file that I created for that show, and here we are. This one was last modified on May 14th of 2017. The event happened on May 20th. I don't know that that matters to you, but anyway, so here we are in Vectorworks. We've got the nice 2D program, the 2D plan and lighting plot only, including ground package. That's all in there. Uh, do know that when you export from Vectorworks into ShowDesigner, all of this information is going to be included in the export. However, when it opens up in ShowDesigner, only the layers that you have turned on will be visible once it's open. But you can obviously turn those on independently. Another quick note here, all of my information is already in this file. We have fixture ID, fixture address, which universe. We have Z information. I'll jump to a front view real quick so you can see that. This is the way the rig is or was designed, and this is the way the rig was at the show. So you want to make sure that all of this information is in there already, and just makes life easier. That way you only have to do things once. Also, you'll notice that we have some PsychFX 4s here. These are not going to come across as a PsychFX 4 because Martin ShowDesigner treats these as a fixture block, which is fine. You'll just have to replace those. There are a couple little bugs that you need to be aware of, and those bugs include your patching information is not necessarily going to come across correctly. It seems to work fine with your conventionals, but when it comes to your intelligent fixtures or robotic fixtures or LEDs or programmable, whatever you want to call them, that information doesn't come across correctly. So for instance, if you'll look here, I'm going to choose this BMFL. Its unit number is 254. Its channel number is 254. Its address is 400, universe 4. That information is not going to make it across. Yes, the unit number will be correct, unit 254, but there is a pretty darn good chance that this other information is not going to be correct. Your address and your universe will most likely not be correct, and you will have to manually do that when you're in ShowDesigner. So let's go ahead and export this. Real quick also, you'll notice that I'm using actual truss symbols. This is just to help my ME. If you're using the generic truss tool, it does come across, at least in my experience. So let's go ahead and export. File, export, MSD right here. This is where I've put my plugin. Save it. You'll notice my path. I save everything in Dropbox. So it's going to take a little bit for this to export everything, about 5 minutes or so. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and when we get back, it'll be done and we'll begin the import process. Okay, we're back. The export is complete, and we're going to go ahead and open up ShowDesigner. All right, and here we go. Okay, so you're in ShowDesigner here. You're going to go to your, navigate to your folder. I've already done it, so, and yeah, I'll just go ahead and navigate out there. Open, go to your folder. I'm not sure why it won't remember where this is, but where the last, your last file is. Oop, that's the wrong one. Under active projects. All right. So the first thing that's going to happen is going to start looking at it, and then this window will pop up. This is your fixture mapping. You will you need to make sure that the file that you want is actually what the visualizer is going to add to the scene. So for instance, in Vectorworks, the Colorado Solo, this fixture here, requires manipulation in order for it to be called a Colorado Solo. I don't mess with it anymore. I can just change the addresses, and my guys know what the Colorado Solo is. Here's another little tidbit, and I remember what I was talking about, how the addresses don't seem to come over, and I just do not know why. I don't know if it's I just don't know why it won't work. The universe information is there, however the address information is not. If someone has a tip on how to fix that, that would be great to know. It would certainly make life a lot easier than having to come in and readdress all of these by hand. So anyway, the act of replacing these fixtures is very simple. If this is, you know, something wrong, you can just come in, click it, hit edit, and choose the correct fixture. Then you would just hit OK, cancel. Okay, so all of these informations are correct, and here's the CycleFX 4. It's going to come in as a spider, but we're going to delete that, or we're going to do a fixture operation and change it. Well, no, we can't because it's a fixture block, but at any rate, let's continue, and we are now going to be loading up the scene. It'll take a little bit, and when we get back, it will be completed. Okay, so the import is complete. That took probably 3 or 4 minutes, not too bad. So first thing I want to do is we're going to do a full scene. You'll see that in fact everything is here, and you'll also see, I'm going to jump over to my layers. Let's expand that out a little bit. All of the data came in, you know. So let's go to, you know, my motors, they're there. My stage is there. Video screens are there, but, you know, we're going to replace those anyway. My audio cabinets are there. And let's open up screen just to see if origins were all correct. Let's go open up the stage. Yep, that's exactly the way it should be. So, in general, everything came across exactly as it should have come across. You'll have to make some fine adjustments. That's just, a fact of life. It's the way it is. You'll notice here that we have all these spiders. We are not using spiders. So I'm just going to take loop those, group them, delete them, and then I will manually come in and add the fixture blocks for the Psych Effects 4 later on. But this is pretty much everything. You will have to come in, as I explained, and you're going to have to use the fast patch under operations here, fast patch, and then just address your fixtures correctly. So you will notice that my conventionals are correct. They're a one-to-one patch. However, these are not. So let's take a look at what that one should be. Well, it's easy to tell. This is fixture ID 151. That certainly should not be the address. So let's open up Vectorworks again to see what that address should be. And it should be address 337. And I'm not sure if there's someplace else that we need to put the address information to make this work. If someone has information on that, it'd be great if you could share that so that we can get a more efficient workflow. I mean, even if it's referencing a user field, that would be great just to know what needs to happen to get that to work. But at any rate, this is what we have now, and in general works pretty good. Doing a fast patch is not that big a deal. I mean, it's not like I have hundreds of fixtures here. It's I don't remember how many I have here. It's probably 70 or 80. I can imagine that if you were working on a rig with 200 plus fixtures, that it would be a very time-consuming process, and it would also open up the possibility for mistakes. So, Martin, if you have a way of fixing that, that would be great. Even if I'm not really sure what the solution is, but please take a look at that. And I guess that's it. So thank you very much, guys. And if you like what I showed you here, please go to my Facebook page, which is LD Kevin Friedel. It's or Kevin Friedel Designs, and like it. Your support is very much appreciated. And anyway, have a good day. Thanks.